I am fat. All right, I know that's a very shocking revelation, so I'm kind of going to just give you some time. Let that sink in. If you need a minute, I understand. I'll still be here. I know finding these things kind of out can be pretty traumatizing. Just kidding. But yeah, I'm a fat guy. And why is that? Let's talk about it. It's pretty simple, really. Throughout the majority of my life, I have consumed more calories than I have burned. For the vast majority of us, myself included, how much you weigh really burns down to how much did you eat versus how much did you move. And I sit around a lot, and I eat too much. Now, I do work out every day. I lift for about 2 hours every day. And, you know, that burns an okay amount of calories, but that doesn't make up for the DoorDash and the cookies and the bagels in the morning and all that stuff. And I also have a bit of a tendency to stress eat. For those of you who don't know, which I imagine is the vast majority of you guys, I have anxiety. I'm an anxious person. So part of the way I kind of cope with that anxiety is I eat. And so when you are an anxious eater and you work a desk job and you have access to DoorDash, the result tends to be fat. Now, I want to kind of clarify, I'm not making any excuses. My weight is a product of my own life choices, regardless of mental health. At the end of the day, I am responsible for this. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just kind of letting you know kind of what happened. I'm an anxious eater. I didn't do enough cardio, but I've got a plan, chat. I've got a plan. I've got a plan. I've got a plan, chat. What am I going to do about it? Well, there for a while, I was trying to do my own meal prep, but between working full-time and trying to do content creation as much as I could and going to the gym and keeping up with my social life and family, I was really just kind of falling behind on my own meal prep. I found it very difficult to keep up with it. So I'm trying out something different. I'm getting food from this meal delivery service. So basically what they do is they meal prep individual meals for you, and then they mail them to your house, about a week's worth. And so here's kind of an example of two of the meals. This one is elk mac and cheese, and this one is grass-fed beef teriyaki. And I will say this one, I had one tonight. It was quite good. I haven't had this one yet tonight either. And I know it's not like the most cheap solution, you know, bit of an ivory tower thing, but I'm very blessed to be able to even afford this. But I was just really finding my own meal prep. I just couldn't keep up with it, and the temptation to kind of fall back on convenience like DoorDash and stuff was just really high. And I thought, you know what, I've been blessed with this money, why not reinvest it? And just my current plan is to use these for when like I'm in a rush and I'm tempted to do something convenient, and instead of like, oh, I'm just too busy to make food, I'll just DoorDash. Instead of doing that, I'd be like, oh, I'm too busy to make food, so I'll have a meal prep. Ooh. You know what I mean? But I kind of figure it's time to start doing something about this fat. I know it's part of my brand, but I mean, at some point, it's time to acknowledge that it's a problem. Now, I've always been a bit on the chunky side, to put it nicely. Gotta do the old, like, fat guy thing. There you go. Now you can't tell I'm fat, can you, chat? I've always been on the fat side. Some of the things I mentioned earlier, I have anxiety. I'm a naturally very anxious person. And I also have depression. So I'm a naturally very depressed person. And the way I cope with my feelings is I eat food. So when I'm stressed and when I'm depressed, I eat my feelings. And again, that is something that was totally within my control. I acknowledge that. It's just how it is. And if I'm being very honest, the start of this year was very distressing. For those of you who don't know, I had some deaths that are pretty close to me. And then work was a pain in the butt. And those factors combined, I lost some control, and I just kind of went nuts on the food. So the start of this year was, instead of like, so you know, like New Year's resolutions are supposed to be like, start the year off right. I did the exact opposite, where I started off the year and I basically did reverse New Year's resolution. It was really rough. But we're balling now. And so the meal prep is kind of like addressing the physical limitations of, or it's like addressing the physical part of not eating healthy. It's like, all right, this removes my excuse of convenience. Does that make sense? So these meal preps removing my excuse of like, oh, I just need something convenient, I don't have time. That's what these remove. But what they don't really address is the mental sides of why I tend to handle my feelings by eating them. And so I've addressed one part of the issue, and there's still two others, and that's depression and stress. How will I address those? Well, let me pull on my whole 2 therapy sessions I went to. No, just kidding. How will I? I don't know. I actually wasn't going to talk about this, but now, oh, itchy nose. You're a public figure, Jed. So, that addresses the convenience and the physical time constraints. How will I address the stress of the depression? Well, I'm not very depressed right now, so that's nice. Work is still pretty stressful. I think the biggest thing I could do to address stress, aside from just quitting my job, which as of right now, I don't want to quit my job. It just doesn't seem... Also, I'm sorry, I know I keep rubbing my nose. I have really bad seasonal allergies. So right now, I'm just like, ugh. But it's like, what could I do to address the stress? Well, I think a big part of that would be to work on my work-life balance. And what I mean by that is, I need to get good at that. When the clock turns 5, I close the work computer and I just don't think about it for the next 15 hours until the next morning, right? So 5 o'clock, close that computer, I just don't think about it. Like right now I'm thinking about work because there's stuff that's kind of looming with work. So I could get better at just leaving work at work. That would really cut down a lot of my stress. Depression for me is a bit of a different animal, right? Because it kind of just comes and goes. It just shows up. There are things that occasionally trigger it, like again, having the deaths in the family earlier this year. Obviously, that left me in a very bad way for a little bit. I was very depressed. But I don't know. It's kind of weird. My depression just kind of comes and goes, and it's really hard to predict when it's going to hit. So the best thing you can do for when you're depressed, I've found, is to have a routine. So hopefully, what I'm going to do now, since I'm not depressed, is I'm going to lock in, get in a good mental state, get in a routine of eating at a low amount of calories, and that way next time the depressive wave hits, I'm locked in, and I'm ready, and even though I'll be in a bad mood, I'll be in a bad mood eating low-calorie meals. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about tonight, chat. Oh, you might be wondering, what on earth is Jed doing with these videos? So I'm just trying to get in the routine of uploading. This is my small channel. I'm going to start uploading videos on my big channel, and part of what I'm trying to get good at is I'm just trying to learn to talk to the camera, because right now I find it very difficult to kind of do like these longer videos where I just talk at the camera. And especially when I upload to my bigger channel, I would like the videos to be very coherent, very well written. I would like to kind of have a style down. And right now I'm still learning to find my style, but I'm just like trying to get good at turning out these longer videos. I'm trying to get good at talking to the camera for longer periods of time. Make sure, you know, I'm getting down the talking cadence and I kind of know what kind of jokes I want to use. And I'm just trying to get good at this. So I'm just going to be uploading videos, like, as many as I can throughout the week without, you know, burning myself out. Which, frankly, I burned out a year ago. I don't know how I keep going. But yeah, so that's the plan, chatters. So I hope you guys stick along with me on this weird journey. I hope anybody watches this video, because I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. But you know how it is. Anyway, thanks for your time, chat.